Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how to make this smiley face coaster or patch. This might look pretty straightforward at first glance. One might think that it's just a regular circle of single crochet with some color changes, which is in part just what it is, but it's also a whole lot of moved increases and a few skipped stitches are also involved, especially to get the eyes in the position you see here. I also had to move things around a bit here at the mouth to get this in this exact shape. The project started its life like this. So this was iteration 1, where I just kind of tested the idea. Then iteration 2 came about, which is this one, and I wasn't quite happy with the eye here on this side. So this is the one I showed you before. This is iteration 3, and this is, I think, as close as I'm gonna get to being happy with it. So this is the one we're making. But before we get started, we are going to need some things. First of all, we need a crochet hook. I'm going to be using this 4mm hook, since it fits the yarn. We need a needle, either yarn needle or like a regular one, like this, to fasten all the ends in the end. We need a pair of scissors to cut stuff. And last but not least, we need some yarn. I'm going to be using this yellow and some leftover black I had laying around. Both of these are recommended for a 4 to 4.5mm hook, so that's why I'm using the 4 hook. So now we have the things we need, so let's get started. I'm going to start off by making a magic circle. Like so. And then I put one chain here to build it up a bit. And now we're going to start the first row. And in this row, I'm just going to go ahead and make 6 single crochet into the magic circle. I kind of crocheted over the tail here for the first 2. And then I'm going to drop the tail, because I kind of want it inside here to lock it a bit. But if we go on further working it in, then we won't be able to pull it to close the circle. So after 2 stitches I drop it here and we're going to pull that in a second. So that's 3 single crochet and we're going to make 4, 5 and 6. So now we have 6 single crochet here in the magic circle. And I know some people treat the first chain we made as a fake stitch kind of and only make 5. But I tend to skip that method. I make 6 and then I treat this single crochet as the first stitch of the row. But if you have a habit of treating the chain as a stitch, then you need to skip a single crochet on each row to follow this pattern. So when we have our 6, we grab it somewhere and we pull it closed. And I tighten up a bit here. And to finish, I go through, like I mentioned, our first single crochet here, and I make a slip stitch to close the row. There we go, that was row 1. Now for row 2, we are going to chain 1, and then I go through the same stitch that we slip stitched in a second ago, and we're going to make an increase in this. And when I say increase, I mean 2 single crochet in the same stitch. There we go, that's our first increase, and then we're going to increase all our way around here for a row total of 12. So we move on to the second stitch, make an increase. Third stitch, same thing, increase. Fourth, same thing. Fifth stitch, same thing. And then the last one here, we also make the increase. There we go. And we once again close the row by slip stitching into the first single crochet of the row. There we go, so that's row 2. For row 3, we are going to keep on increasing, but only on every other stitch. So we make the chain, like I do in every row, and then we go into the same stitch here as the slip stitch, and I make 1 single crochet. In the next stitch, I'm going to put the increase, like so, and then we're going to follow that all the way around. So the next stitch will be a regular single crochet, stitch after, increase, then a regular single crochet again, and then an increase, regular single crochet, increase, then a regular, and an increase, and a single crochet, and the last increase here in the last stitch. There we go, and once more we slip stitch into the first stitch, first single crochet I mean, like so. So that's row 3. Now this is going to be row 4, and up to this point we've pretty much just made a base for a regular single crochet circle, and it's on this row things start to get interesting. This is where we start to build up the eyes. So to start this, we once more chain 1, and then I go into the first stitch here, same where I made a slip stitch, for 1 single crochet. We're then going to make a second single crochet in the next stitch, but on this stitch we're also going to change color to black. So I pause right here with 2 loops on the hook, and I introduce the black yarn. So we're just going to drop the yellow tail behind here, and we're going to hold this like this, and then we're going to pull through with the black yarn. And we tighten the yellow, not too hard but a bit. There we go, so now we change to black yarn instead. And with this black yarn, we're just going to make 1 increase here in the next stitch. So I go through and I make 1 single crochet, pull it a bit, and then I make a second single crochet. But before I pull through for the last time, I pause it here once more, and then I lift the yellow tail that we dropped over to here, and I pull through with yellow to change color back to yellow. And I tighten it up a bit. So now we have the bottom of the right eye right here. So now we're going to go ahead and do a single crochet in the next stitch. We're then going to make one more single crochet here in the stitch after, and then we make the increase. We're now going to repeat this sequence 2 more times. So single crochet, single crochet, followed by an increase. Then we do it again, single crochet, followed by an increase. And now we're getting up to close to where the next eye is going to be. So now for the next sequence, instead of going single crochet, increase, we're going to go single crochet, increase, and then a single crochet. But here we make a pause before we pull through, and once again change color to black. And we can go ahead and cut off. See, this is the tail now that is attached to the first eye. We can go ahead and cut this off and leave perhaps like a foot and a half of yarn here. That's roughly 30 to 45 centimeters. So now with the source freed, we can move it onto this side, pull through with black yarn, pull it tighter, and then we're going to go ahead and make one increase with the black yarn here, just like on the other side. Like so, and before we pull through on the second single crochet here in the increase, we once again lift the yellow tail that we dropped a second ago, and we pull through with yellow. And we tighten it a bit, and then we close or finish the row with 2 regular single crochet. 1 and a 2. And then we close the row with a slip stitch in this first single crochet. Like that. You can see the bottom of the eyes here. So that was row 4. This is going to be row 5, and we're going to keep on building the eyes on this row. So we start off same way, 1 chain and then I single crochet into the same stitch. And then we make a second single crochet in the next stitch, and here once more I change color, and I'm going to reuse the tail that we left on the previous row. Just lift that up here, pull through, so now we change to black yarn. Then we go ahead and make an increase in the next black stitch here. And then we make a regular single crochet in the second black stitch here. But we don't pull through because we're going to change color back to the base color, yellow in this case. So I lift the tail from the back side again, pull through and tighten it down some. In the next 4 stitches, we are going to follow the following sequence. We're going to make 1 single crochet and then an increase in the next one. Followed by 2 single crochet. So the sequence goes single crochet, increase, single crochet, single crochet. And we're going to repeat that 3 more times. Single crochet, increase, and then 2 more single crochet. There we go. And this is the third, so single crochet, increase, and 2 single crochet. So now we have 4 stitches left here until the black. So same thing applies here, same sequence. Single crochet, increase, and then 2 more single crochet. But before we pull through here, we change color to black. And this time we made increase single crochet here. So now we're going to go the other way. We're going to make single crochet. Missed it there. Single crochet. Followed by an increase. And on the second stitch here of the increase, we are going to change color back to yellow. I once again lift the tail from the previous yellow stitch. There we go. And then we make 2 more single crochet, 1 in each stitch here to finish the row. There we go, and we close the row by slip stitching into the first single crochet here. There we go. So that was row 5. You can see the eyes start to take shape here. Now this is going to be row 6. And we're going to start this off just like the other rows by chaining 1 and going into this first stitch, making a single crochet. Then we make a single crochet in the next stitch in as well, and we change color to black on this stitch as well. Tighten a bit, and now we're going to go ahead and make a increase here in the first stitch. There we go, and we'll make a single crochet in the next stitch. And on this stitch, we are going to change color back to yellow again. I know there's one more stitch here, but we're gonna skip over that stitch. Now we have increase single crochet, and now with the yellow, we go into the first yellow here instead of the black one, and we make an increase to compensate for the one we skipped. And this is gonna help push the eye, you see, this way. Next we make 1 single crochet and then 1 more increase. And then 2 more single crochet in the next 2 stitches, 1 in each. There we go. So now we can repeat the following sequence: single crochet, increase, single crochet, single crochet. So we're going to repeat that 1, 2, 3 times until we get to the next eye. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, and an increase. One single crochet, 2 single crochet. There we go, that was our first group. So now we'll repeat that. 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, and an increase. Then we make 1, 2. There we go. So the last sequence here, same, 1, 2 single crochet, followed by an increase. Followed by 2 single crochet. And when we reach the black here, we are actually going to make 1 more single crochet in the first black stitch. But before we go through, we change color to black again, tighten a bit, and then we make 1 single crochet in the next stitch with the black, and then 1 increase in the last black stitch here. And before we pull through, we change color back to yellow again, like so. And then we make 2 single crochet, 1 in each stitch to finish the row. And we close by slip stitching in the first. There we go. That was row 6. You can see the eyes are okay, similar still. This one is a bit wider, but I think it will be fine. This is going to be row 7, and this row will be a bit more straightforward. There's no color changes on this row because the eyes are done and the mouth doesn't start until the next row, so it's going to be all yellow. And we start this by same way, by making a chain and then single crochet into the first stitch. But this time we are going to increase in the next stitch, like so. And then we're going to put 1 single crochet in the next, the first black one there, followed by one more single crochet in the next black one, and then we are going to skip this third black stitch and make an increase directly onto the yellow here instead. Now we're going to repeat the sequence 4 single crochet, 1 increase, 1 single crochet, and that's going to be repeated 5 times from here to here, or all the way up here actually. So we start by making 4 single crochet, so 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we make an increase, and one more single crochet. So that was the first repetition, and we're going to repeat that again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and we increase. We make 1 single crochet, and then we repeat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, then we increase, and we make 1 more. There we go. Repeat it again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and we increase, and we make 1 more. Now this is going to be the last repetition. So 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th here in the last black stitch, 4, and then we make an increase, and then next to last stitch here, and then we make our last single crochet, and we slip stitch in the first single crochet to close. You see the eyes are fairly similar still, so that's what we're after here. This can be pulled and tweaked a bit here, but they should be roughly the same now. So that was row 7. Now this is going to be row 8, and this row is pretty straightforward. We're going to follow the sequence of 2 single crochet, 1 increase, 4 single crochet all the way around. But this is also the row where we make the mouth. But I will explain when we get there. So we start off by making a chain, and we single crochet in the same stitch. Then we make a second single crochet in the next stitch, and we make an increase in the next one. Then we make 4 single crochet in the next 4 stitches, 1 in each. 2, 3, and 4. Then we start the sequence over. We make 1, 2 single crochet, and then we make an increase. And then we're going to make 4 single crochet, but also that's 1, that's 2, and this is 3. Here on the third one, we change color to black, because this is going to be the start of the mouth. So the last stitch in this sequence is actually going to be with black. And also, in cases like this, when I'm just traveling from here to here with the black color and then changing back to yellow, I feel it's kind of unnecessary to cut this and move this, so what I do is, I'll make sure I know where I have my ends here, and I kind of pinch it behind the work like this, and then I work it in as I go along. So now, like I mentioned, we had one stitch left in the sequence, so that's that one down. So now we can restart the sequence. So that's going to be 1, 2, single crochet, and I make sure the yellow yarn is here to be worked in. 2, and now we do the increase. So 1, 2, and now we can go ahead and make 4 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Restart. So 1, 2, and then increase. And then we're going to make 4. 2, 3, and 4. And now, since we're one stitch short of being level here, we're going to let the black spill over to the next sequence as well with one stitch. So we make one last stitch with this black, change color to yellow, tighten a bit, and now we can continue the sequence. We're on the second here, and we do an increase in the next one. And now we make 4 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. We start with 1, 2. We make the increase. And then we make the last 4 here. 1, 2, 3, and a 4th. There we go, and we close the row with 1 slip stitch in the last, in the first single crochet. So there we go, the mouth has started to take shape. This is going to be row 9, and we start off the same way as the other ones. We make a chain, and then we single crochet in the same stitch. We are then going to make 5 more single crochet in the next 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we have a total of 6 single crochet here. We make our first increase. Then we're going to make 6 more single crochet in the next 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then we make our increase. And then we make 2 more single crochet in the next 2. 1 and 2. The rest of the way now will follow the following sequence. 6 single crochet, 1 increase, 1 single crochet. So we start that sequence now, here in the second black stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then we make the increase. And 1 single crochet. Then we start the process over with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then the increase. Then we make the 1. And then we start over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we make the increase. And we make the last single crochet. We start the sequence over with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Make the increase. And 1 last single crochet. There we go, and we slip stitch in the first stitch here to close the row. There we go, so that was row 9. And this is really starting to look like the smiley face. So now it's going to be row 10. And we're now past all the weirdness, so now we can just proceed like a normal circle, so we don't need to jump around. So on this row 10, I'm going to follow the following pattern or sequence. I'm going to do 4 single crochet, 1 increase, 4 single crochet, all the way around. And once again, I start with a chain and I go through the same stitch. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we increase. And we do it again. So 1, tricky, 2, 3, 4. So that was 1 complete sequence. So we started over. 1, 2, 3, 4, and an increase. Now we make 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 2 sequences done. Start it over. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 increase. And 1, 2, 3, 4. So that was that sequence. So now we have 3. 1, 2, 3. We start over. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make another increase. And go ahead and make the last 4 here in the sequence. 2, 3, 4, and we start over. And then an increase. And we'll make 1, 2, 3, 4, and we start over. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the increase. And then we make our last 4 to complete the row. 2, 3, and 4, and we slip stitch in the first stitch to close. There we go, so that was row 10, and now it's only one row left. Now for row 11, this is going to be our last row, and this is also very straightforward. We start with the chain, and then we go through the first stitch. And on this one, we are going to follow the sequence of 1 single crochet, and then an increase. And then 8 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then we start the sequence over. So we make 1 single crochet, 1 increase, and then 8 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we start the sequence over. 1 single crochet, the increase, then 8 single crochet, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and we start the sequence over. 1, then the increase, then we do 8, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then we start over with 1, we make the increase, and we do 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now we restart the sequence for the last time. So we go 1, increase, And then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And that was the last stitch in the last row. So now we have the smiley face, and as you can see the eyes are pretty even as can be since we're going around. And so we compensated on this side to push it here, and we left this one kind of alone except skipping somewhere there. So I'm pretty happy with this result of a face. Next step is to fasten everything off. And usually on the last close here I don't slip stitch. What I do is I make a chain instead. And then I cut off the yarn. I'm actually gonna leave quite a tail because we're gonna make a backside to this. And we can use this tail to stitch them apart later. I'm also gonna cut off the black yarn, those ones, because we don't need them no more. Just get them out of the way. So once that has been cut off, I'm just gonna pull it through up here. And then we tighten it down. And that chain will kind of lock it down. And then we're gonna do this instead. Of the slip stitch, we are going to thread the needle with the yellow tail. And now we're going to go through this first stitch here. And we're going to make a few passes here, back and forth. We go back into this stitch. So we kind of stitch between the first and the last stitch, where the slip stitch used to, or where the slip stitch is placed on the other rows. But when you do a slip stitch, you kind of get a little bulge there, and I don't like that, so I think this looks cleaner. It's a bit of a transition, but it's pretty much invisible, so I like that. So once we have a few passes here, we can just go down in the next one or something, just to keep it secure until we need this yarn again, and we'll just leave it like that for now. So we go over to the back side. And we shouldn't over tighten these because we don't want to change the shape of the eyes, so I just gently tighten. Then I thread the needle with the first tail here. And I just go through anywhere, through like one stitch or something. To there, and then I pull it up through. I hold that tail down and I close it to make a knot. Then I go through. So now it's fastened. And we can just work this in, like in the very top layer here on the back side, maybe through one or two here. Something like that. And I pull through. So now that's secured, and we can remove the extra here. There we go. We move on to the next. And I do the same thing. I just go through something close by. I go through it, like so. When I have it through the loop here, I close the loop by pulling this end. And then we make the knot. And then I work it in just in like the top layer so that it doesn't poke through. Once that is done, I cut off the excess. There we go. And all these tails, the black tails that are left, are going to be fastened the same way. This one is the only one. This is the center here of the magic circle. That's the only one we're going to pull tight here to really close the circle, and then we thread the needle. I'm just gonna go through close to the center here, do like one stitch, like this one. Once I have the loop, I go through the loop. We close the loop by pulling, and we lock. And for the center, I'm actually going to do that twice, just to make sure it doesn't come undone over time. So that's the second knot here, and we lock. And then we just work this upwards here, like so. And we cut off the excess. There we go, and I'm just gonna do these few that's left off camera, and I'll see you here in a second again, but it's the same thing, make a loop, go through and work it in. So there we go, I've fastened all the loose ends on the back side. This is what it looks like from the front still. And like I mentioned, we're gonna make a back piece to this and then stitch them together. But this is gonna be in part 2. So thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like if you liked the video. And if you would like to see more crafty content and crochet tutorials, feel free to subscribe. Until next time, stay safe. Bye!